And we are live. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition here of hashtag Project Week as we are back on Respect the Craft for episode number 30 here as we are live with the king of the Scramble himself, the Icebox himself. He is Walter Diaz. How's it going, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy to be here. How you guys doing?
Awesome, awesome. And no, we're happy to have you. This is going to be awesome here. We have some royalty. We have some royalty in the house. So let's have some fun here.
Right.
So before we go into again, we have to talk everything Project Codename Wrestling. We have some other things we could talk about as well. But before we get into all of that, I have to ask, as I ask everyone, the podcast is called Respect the Craft. So when you hear that term, the craft, what does that mean to you?
It's funny. I was thinking about my answer when you asked TJ the other day. Because that was like a really good question too. For me, like it's like your art, like something you're passionate about. You know, like whether it's wrestling, podcasting, music, anything like that. Like that's something you're passionate about. That's your craft. That's what you wanna. That's your art. That's what you wanna progress in. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Gotcha. No, definitely, and that's kind of what my goal was with this. It's to have that spectrum of, again, the craft. Mainly, it's going to be wrestling for here, but it can be anything, and it has its identity in so many things. And even
Right.
wrestling itself, the craft of wrestling has so many avenues. Again, we're a business that has so many parts to it: the art of it, the drama of it,
Yeah.
everything. So
Right.
there's a lot that goes into the craft.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So definitely. But let's keep it going here. Again, we're back here with Project Week, third episode in the series here, as we're talking everything Project Codename Wrestling. As this Saturday is a week away from their next show, Fallout. Let's talk a little bit about you joining the project. How did this feel
Hmm.
to get to be added into the project?
Hmm.
Well, someone has to fire the editor because the picture has Icebox on there. It's not normal with your royalty there. But
Right.
tell us a little bit about that, about getting added to the project and being part of this venture now that's started up.
Right. Like so, it was a very weird situation, as most people probably like have mentioned. So then, when this came up, when it was started to be a real thing, all of us like I feel like all of us in the on the roster were just like, all right, this is something special. I feel like it's something special. Like to be there, like from the beginning, to be the first match on the project, like that was something like okay, like we have something here. And then like seeing all the guys in the roster, it's like sometimes I have to like be like, you know, like I'm very cocky on camera, but then sometimes I'm like, am I as good as these guys? Can I do it? Like, but yeah, it's been great. The project is you got a lot of good minds behind the scenes of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's crazy you mentioned that about that first match. I was going to bring that up
Mhm.
as well. You were a part of that very first Hot Start Scramble. Again, there's a reason they call you the king of the scramble right there. But let's talk about that. How did that feel to get to be in there again with some young
Mhm.
guns as well? You got Nikolai, who's just on the podcast yesterday. You
Mhm.
have Jay Bougie, who's been on the podcast. You have Nino
Mhm.
Cruz. But then that night, you were surprised, as well as the crowd, to be joined by a veteran of the game, another alumni of the podcast, Ghost Shadow. How did
Right.
that feel for you to get to be in there again with those young guys, but also
Mhm.
a veteran like Ghost?
Yeah, everyone in that match, including Ghost, were very hungry. Like like days leading up to that, like I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous. Like it was like because like I said, first match of the project, you're kind of setting. You're not only setting the pace for the show, you're setting the pace for the company. So that was nerve wracking as it is, and then I'm in there with guys like Nikolai, who's hungry, who wants it. Jay Bougie, I beat him. I pinned him the last time we were in a scramble, so I wasn't too worried about him. I think he forgot, so I had to remind him. Um, and Nino's another one that hungry too. And then Go Shadow, like a vet, like in Ring of Honor from the days it started. Like that's something like whoa, like all right, this is to me. It kind of felt like a past, present, and future like type of match.
Yeah, and I think that kind of classifies almost what project is. It's that
Hmm.
perfect balance of having the different generations in there
Hmm.
and being able to see how they mesh well and also how the fans react to it. And a
Right.
matchup like that was perfect because again it adds that element of this is the start of the show, but also it was perfect because it was the start of the company. See how the
Yeah.
fans are going to react to
Exactly.
everything. So that was great.
Right.
So
And then
let's
like
talk a little.
now,
Yeah,
sorry, and now like a lot of young guys that are on the roster, like they have so many veterans in the back at their disposal to learn from. Like even me, like I'm just like looking around, like man, I could talk to this guy, I could talk to that guy. Like any chance I get, I try to pick Smokes' brain, on anything.
no, yeah, and that was
So
something I
that's
was talking
cool.
to Nikolai yesterday about. That again, that's one of the best things I see about the locker room as well is having guys like that
Yeah.
to be able to go. Like I I always love it at Callis Wrestling. We have the opportunity. We have Smokes there as well. We have Theo Monster Mac in the locker room.
Hmm.
We have a few more guys that even G's that's also part of
Yeah.
Project, and just getting to pick their brains for a while. It's like you learn so much, even if it's like a short conversation,
Right.
and it
Yeah.
helps, especially just to fine tune even certain things. It's like again, they've done it all, they've seen it all,
Right.
and it's
Yeah.
great to see that
Exactly.
they're able to be willing to pass down that knowledge as well to the newer guys.
Yeah.
So that's
It's
always
great.
great.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that before we continue here with the project stuff and more. What got you into professional wrestling? Were you a fan immediately of
Mhm.
just the mainstream, or did you also find indie
Mhm.
wrestling and get that mix in your younger
Mhm.
days?
So I wrestling was always on in my house. My dad was a huge wrestling fan. Well, my whole family was. We like wrestling was always on in the house, so it's like it was just life to me. And then my dad actually used to do camo work for like smaller indie promotions. And so we would go to the shows for free, which dope for me. I was like, yes, awesome. And then that's when like that's how I was introduced to indie wrestling, like pretty young. Like I like it's kind of like at a young age I knew like yeah, there's WWF, but there's also these other things too going around. Like there's just wrestling all the time everywhere. So that helped me out, and then the backyard wrestling stuff. That I started doing that, and then from there it kind of just snowballed into what we have now. Um, and yeah, so like pretty much like wrestling's just been around all the time. Like
Gotcha. No, that's awesome to get to even experience that the indie side of things from a young age, because I feel like that's what most of us we don't get to see from the start of it. It's like, okay,
yeah,
and we see the indies. It's usually like, oh yeah, we see WWE, WWF at the time, and then it's like, then later on we find the indie side of things. That's cool to
yeah,
get to see
exactly.
that from a young age.
Yeah.
Do you remember what company that was, or is
It
it
was
one that's just even
it
fun? No.
was a couple. I forget what it was. They're not around anymore,
Yeah, yeah.
obviously. I forget. Yeah, it was a few that he would do, and then but a lot of them were like old doghouse guys too.
Okay, that's
So
that's what
so
that's what I was hoping.
yeah,
Yeah.
I grew up in Brooklyn,
Okay.
and so doghouse was not far. By the way, at this time didn't know anything about a doghouse because
Okay.
I was a kid, but then
Yeah.
as I grew older, I'm like yeah, like I remember seeing these guys
Yeah.
like when I was growing up, like at these shows and that, and yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because the funny thing is, it's probably the same thing with me that I was like not knowing how close we were to one of the gold mines of professional wrestling with
Right.
Doghouse.
Yeah.
Like, because again, it's right there. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah,
So
I remember when I first started like training professionally. Like I went to the new doghouse. It wasn't the old one.
yeah,
I
yeah.
went there and I marked out a little bit because at that point I already learned about what the doghouse actually was.
No.
So I did mark out a little bit to it, but it's also like it's not the real. It wasn't the real deal
Okay.
compared
Oh,
to.
was that where you got your full training, or did you transition from there
I
to
went.
somewhere else?
Yeah, I trained a little bit there, and then I trained at Ace in Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
so
gotcha.
because I forget the reason on why. Oh, I forget why. Whatever. But I just wound up just
Yeah,
traveling to Jersey to start training, and I think it was because it was cheaper. But
gotcha.
realistically, I'm still traveling to Brooklyn,
Yeah.
traveling to another state. So how cheap was it?
Uh, well,
But
and
yeah, that
also
was
sadly it ends up closing down a little quick too as well. So that
right.
also
Yeah,
ends up happening.
yeah. I
So
could do that. That could add something to it.
yeah, there you go. There we go. We got West in the chat as well with Kyle. What's up,
What's up?
guys? Thank you guys
What's up,
always for the
Kyle
support.
West? Rocco. Yeah,
There we go. There we go.
love
Always
that
love their
dog.
support. So let's keep it going. So again, we get how you get to the dance now. Let's talk about again from project. Last show you were on, it almost showed like El Jefe was kind of protecting his investment with you because he had an eye on
Mhm.
you. So your thoughts on this? You
Yeah.
get to see El Jefe is watching your match very, very tentatively right here. He has
Mhm.
his eyes locked in on you. Your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's funny because like at NEW, I'm a completely different animal than what I am at the project. And at the project, you see me do scramble matches, but at NEW, like that's like my like not my home like my home place, but I'm a little different. I act a little different there. Like I definitely am like the gatekeeper over there. Like I'm making like you got to come through me. So for Sosa to see that, I hope he liked what he saw. You know,
Well then, so could that also mean maybe that's something you're gonna have to do with the matchup you have coming up, which we'll definitely be talking about in a little
yeah,
bit. But do we have to see that different side of you come to the fallout?
absolutely.
Oh,
Mainly
there we go.
because Astro's apparently a different version of himself now. So
Yeah.
if he's gonna be a different, I got to come in
Well then, maybe
different
this will
too.
motivate you too, because we got a comment here that you're not gonna like. So someone wants Asher to put the boots on you right here, Miguel Jones.
Miguel Jones, I'm gonna block him when I get off here. I'm gonna make sure I have him blocked. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life.
Damn, there you go.
Like, you just
don't,
go
don't
straight up
insult
blocked, my man.
don't insult royalty.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. There you
My
go.
crown's being cleaned.
But okay, let's go from here as well. So we talked about your earlier days. You mentioned Ace as well. Let's talk about the growth because again, this isn't just something new. That's like, oh, you just ended up being the Icebox or ended up just being the king of the
Mm.
scramble. You had your humble beginnings. So let's talk this evolution for you here. I do my research. You've seen the podcast, so you know I do my
Jesus.
research.
Yeah.
So let's talk that evolution for you and how did that
Mhm.
not even just again the looks, all that, but
Mhm.
for you as a character as well. How did that growth happen
Mhm.
for you?
Well, on the left, I was in a tag team. Uh, Natural Born Chillers, Icebox, and Chills. Uh, um, things happened. I also took time off from the business, um, get my life sorted out, and then I knew that coming back, I wanted to keep the Icebox name for the three people that remember who I was, and but I wanted to be completely different. Like I did not want like I wanted it. I'm not gonna lie, I did want to keep the silver a little bit, but no, I wasn't married to that idea. But I was like, I can't look like that. I'm older now. I gotta do a complete 180. So started like looking into things that I wanted to do. Like I started thinking about like the kind of wrestlers I like to watch. You know, like I like guys like Triple H, but I also like guys like Ric Flair. So and then I also like guys like Undertaker with characters bigger like larger than life that like you can look at them get a reaction.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, you know what, like we're gonna change this, keep it but change it, like evolve. Like I'm not shying away from that. That was me, but It's just that I just don't dress like that anymore, and I have a
Got you.
better beard. Yeah.
So if you don't mind me asking, also, what brought you back into wrestling? Because I know that's usually the difficult thing
Yeah.
when we take time away, is finding the reason to want to come back and want to be a part of it all again.
Right.
So for you, what was it that brought you back in and made you feel like, you know what, I still have something to do?
Yeah. So like it was a weird, like, it was actually like a couple year process, because it was like I didn't like that I had just like kind of left up randomly, like I just disappeared off the face of the earth, and then I was like, I kind of like I at the point I kind of felt like I had my life like in check, like I'm good, I can do this now, and but then I also had to talk to myself too, like if I'm gonna do this, I need to do it for real. So and then rewind real quick. I had like health issues also, so like I had dropped like massive amounts of weight, but it had nothing to do with wrestling. So then people would see me like all trimmed down. They're like, "So what are we doing? Is this a comeback?" So people kept already like putting the seed in my ear. So I'm just like, you know what, like. If I could just easily just jump in, like let me train a bit first, because people just wanted me to jump in. I'm like, no, I gotta like hit the ring at least, like see how I felt. And then every time I got in the ring, did like some sparring sessions, I felt fine. Like I didn't feel like garbage or hate myself. So I'm like, all right, we can do this. And
Gotcha. No, that's awesome to hear. And I feel like that's something, again, if you're not someone that's been in a ring before, you don't understand how it is something that you should do some training again before just deciding
yeah,
like, yeah, I'm match ready. Like,
yeah,
no.
no, yeah,
Like,
no. Like even now, like I've been going full time for like a year, I still feel like I'm not match ready. Like I'm just like, what if every time like I have a match, I'm like, what if I get blown up? What am I gonna do? Like, I forgot how to wrestle. Like,
I feel like that's everyone right before the music hits. It's like, shit, I forgot how to wrestle.
yeah.
Well, let's go.
And then, yeah, pretty much. And then I have to have those talks to myself, like, you know how to do this, right? You've done this before. Like, this isn't like a new thing you're doing. And yeah, I talk to myself a lot, as you can tell.
Hey, whatever gets you through it, man. I've heard,
Yeah.
again, that's used to be a question I used to ask a lot of people, was what gets you like match ready? And that's always something I used to hear, was just having that self monologue, basically.
Right.
Because again, no one
Yeah.
else is gonna pump you up at that point because it's just you.
Mhm. Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you have to fight yourself in a sense. So that's awesome. That's great to hear. And again, it's been working. Again, you're king of the scramble right now. so let's get into, again, the matchup everyone's waiting for us to talk about here. The reason, again, hashtag Project Week is happening. Let's talk about this fight right here. Which, first off, before we get into the match, because it's funny, Project Codename Wrestling just released a promo package for this matchup that, again, you don't have to disclose to me what you were doing that night, because I don't want to get you in too much trouble, because there are some issues here. But you did have some words for Astra. And can you talk to us a little bit about that mindset, and again, what this matchup means for you coming up next Saturday?
Well, me and Astro have a history.
Yeah.
It's well documented that me and him are very close. But since his dumpster situation, I haven't really spoken to him like that. And then since he started hacking my promos, I've tried to contact them, see like, hey, what's going on? Nothing. So first time since the dumpster situation, first time I see him will be in the ring. And like I said, we have a history. I'm going into this match ready but confident, because like I said in my video package, I've defeated him twice already. So it's like, I have nothing to prove. He has everything to prove on this. But I also still do have something to prove, because this is the project. I need to show everyone that I'm not here to play. And if it means slaying the dumpster dragon over there, then so be it. Like, best friend or not.
Got you. Hey, again, when it comes to matches, sometimes that friendly rivalry turns into something a little more.
Yeah,
So,
and not gonna lie, that this is a match I actually have wanted. Like I'm like I want to mix it up with him again. Like
you know,
see what we could do now because now we're both way better than when we were younger, and
you know.
we're both smarter. So let's see what kind of match we
Hey,
can
we're
create.
looking at the looks. There's definitely a lot different than those original looks between you and Astro.
Yeah,
And even Astro. Astro's definitely, again, he's changed a lot. Like, even, let's
yeah,
say, go back far as 2 years ago. The look is definitely
hmm
a lot different for
everything.
Astro.
Yeah,
So,
he's another one that's evolved himself and tries to keep himself fresh. So that I give him.
you know,
But I just wish he'd answer my calls and figure out why he doesn't like me for some reason.
I feel like he doesn't like a lot of people right now. He's in that one track mind of just trying to throw people into
Mm.
dumpsters for some reason.
Yeah,
And
that kind
then,
of happens when you get thrown in a dumpster or something.
so I guess. Well, there you go again. Miguel Jones just looking to get blocked.
Yeah, he's just gonna get blocked by the end of the day. Like,
There,
once we log off this, I'm going to block him.
there you go. He's
Miguel
gonna beat
Jones,
the
yeah.
royalty. Damn.
No,
There you
he's
go.
not. No, he is not. Absolutely not.
That's insane. But let's with that matchup. What does that mean for you again? Now you're trying to get back in the rankings as well, because
Mhm.
unfortunately, with how the ranking system works at Project, you're at a negative. Astro's
Yeah,
still at a clean slate, but you're currently
actually,
at.
I'm at a 0 because I wasn't pinned.
Are you? Because
Yeah, I checked. I made sure to check.
okay,
I made sure to check that.
okay,
I am at a 0 because I was not pinned in the scramble. But you're right. But yes, the ranking system is important because that's how you're gonna get far in
no,
project. Like they're not gonna let someone who's 0-21 get any opportunity. Well, I mean, negative 21
no,
get a get opportunities. You gotta be a winner.
no. So what does that mean for you getting a matchup like this? Again, it isn't an easy task either because Astro is no
hmm
slouch. What does that mean for this to be again a redeeming matchup for you? To
hmm
put yourself now at a positive score when it comes to the
Right.
project.
Well, like I said before, like if I need to go after beat my best friend, just like get rid of the dumpster dragon, like I called him before, to get like a plus on my name, then it's something I got to do. Like business is business. Like whatever problems we could discuss that later. But in the ring, it's business. And if I gotta slay him, that's what it is.
Yeah, there you go. So after the okay, so let's go from there. Once that dragon is slayed right there, and we move on with with Project Codename Wrestling. Is the scramble the only thing you're looking forward to, or is there more opponents in Project that you're like you have your eyes set on, possibly more singles action? Again, you
Yeah,
might be the king of the scramble, but I can imagine you're willing to do more than just a scramble match.
right. Yeah. So in after Genesis, I said something, and I said I'm done with the scrambles for now because I'm here to fight, and I want to prove that I'm the king of everything. So yeah, I'm wearing a king of the scramble hoodie now, but I'm now the king of trying to prove that I'm the king of everything. I'm the king of this podcast. I'm the king of the fan that's over there, um, by my window. I'm the king of my cell phone. No, I'm the king of everything. I'm the king of Miguel Jones since he keeps commenting.
There you go. So with that being said, is there anyone in particular at the project that you have your eyes on, or is there everyone? Just
Honestly,
anyone that
everyone.
steps up. Okay.
Yeah, I wanna mix it up with everyone in there. There's people I've wrestled already, and there's people that I haven't even been near, and there's people that are coming in that probably have no history with or a lot of history with,
No,
and I just want to mix it up with everybody.
got you. I was gonna say because there was someone again, like I mentioned, he was a part of that scramble. He was a surprise. Could Ghost Shadow be someone you have your eyes on later on?
Mhm.
Because
Oh
he
yeah,
kind of he took your prize match. He took that
yeah.
first scramble win.
gotta talk to someone about that because that's unfair. Like I'm tired of these surprise entrants. They always ruin everything. But yeah, go shout too. Like it'll be great. It'll be a nice little name on the resume of people I've beat. You know?
There you go. And that's another one. That's that doghouse family right there.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
So there you go.
That's
Or there's also another name again. When you mentioned Ace, there's a guy. Danny Moff is also part of the roster now. So
yeah.
I like how when I threw this name out at Nikolai yesterday too, and it was like, yeah, I want to wrestle him. Like, yeah.
You know what's funny? I've always like said like if Moff is actually like probably like my out of the indie guys like my favorite like wrestler. No one beats his intensity.
No.
Like I feel like he just wakes up intense. Like he's having his bowl of cereal just very angrily for some reason. but if the opportunity arises and I get to work with him, I will. Not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna be a little nervous, a little concerned for my well-being. I have insurance, thankfully, but I'm also not gonna be a bitch, and I'm gonna say let's go.
No, there you go. No, I throw his name because again, I'm a big fan of the veterans of the game. There's a reason why another podcast I do with a man that knows Yamaha very well, Steve Monster Mac. I do the Glory Days podcast where we're talking about those glory days of DHS, talking about JAP, Doghouse, ROH, all that great stuff. So I love looking at those guys and seeing how they're still going now. So it's insane. So Mav is definitely one I'm looking at. Like he's still killing it just like he was in 2002. Yeah. So
yeah, and he looks better, which is insane.
That's to me is still crazy.
Like, that man ages like wine, which is insane.
That was not so good for Josh Glide that night, but yeah.
No, not at all. No.
Definitely catch the replay if you guys haven't seen what we're talking about. And yeah, Josh Glide, hey, we wish you well.
Yeah, well,
so let's keep it going here because there's another match I want to talk to you about that I'm looking forward to because this is definitely going to bring out some intensity with you, and it's going to be at the world's famous Elks Lodge. So talk to us about this matchup here as you're taking on a member of that legendary Samoan dynasty in a leather strap match. Jesus.
Yep.
It's going to be you and Alpha Jr. in there with the leather strap. Oh, my God.
There might have been something I accidentally did. Yeah. When I made my return match, it was at NEW.
Yeah.
It was a 3-way match, me, Steven Person, and Genesis Jaffet. And Alpha Jr. just happened to add himself into the match last minute. And what I felt he ruined my homecoming celebration. It was a night about me. Like you're ruining NEW royalties night. So I took that personally. So the next show we had after that, I attacked him with a chair. And I told him, this is my show. This is about me. Some people say that might have not been the brightest thing, but also I haven't seen him since. And I've been calling him out show after show, and he finally accepted the challenge. Me and him are going to be connected to a leather strap, so he can't run and I can't run. So we're going to – we're going to see what happens with that. I'm excited for it.
That's going to be interesting, especially after – again, if you say you're hitting him with a chair, this is a pissed off Samoan.
Yeah,
that's they're naturally already very
angry Samoan after me. But yeah, I'm ready for it. Like
no,
I honestly think that's probably the biggest match of my career right now, and I'm gonna treat it as such. But I'm not gonna be intimidated by his lineage or anything like that.
No. Well, no, definitely, and I wouldn't assume you would. But speaking about that lineage for a matchup like this, and especially with the stipulation it is, how do you feel about that? Again, when we talk about professional wrestling and we talk important lineages and families in this business, the Samoan dynasty is something that, again, you can't go far, especially in our area where you talk about, again, like WXW and all that, like how important they are for this business.
Right. So, like it's honestly kind of humbling, like because those opportunities they're not just given to anybody. Um, I remember when it was first pitched, I was like, "What?" and then now I see the graphic, and it's like, "Oh, it's actually happening this time." Okay, and that, like I said, like opportunities like that don't come often. You got to make the
No.
most of them. So I'm gonna. That's exactly what I'm planning to do. Even if we didn't have, and the fact that we have the strap, that kind of just adds a whole other element to it because it's not just a regular match. It's going to be brutal.
Yeah, it adds again some more intensity, it adds some more violence, and also it makes it even more just. It adds a grittier thing to it because now
Right.
it's two guys again connected by that.
Yeah.
They're about to beat the hell
Yeah.
out of each other.
And this is only like our second actual like this is our first one-on-one match, but
Yeah,
this is our second meeting, and it's in a strap match after like almost a year of me talking, calling him out
no,
since last June.
no.
But scheduling conflicts couldn't get the match to happen the first time, but here we are, and it's finally happening.
Hey, better late than never. And again,
Right.
maybe after the matchup, you'll be like, it was worth the wait, or maybe
Yeah.
he'll be like, we should have kept scheduling. Who knows? Again,
Yeah. Maybe I should have stayed home.
we'll have to wait and see. But also, let's talk about that as well. The building it's going to be in. I can imagine you definitely know the history that comes with that Elks Lodge. So your thoughts again, an opportunity like that, and see now Miguel Jones likes you because now he's saying, there you go.
All right.
Okay,
All right. I won't block him. I'll maybe unfriend him, but not block him.
There we go. I guess he's just a little more of a fan of Astro. That's all.
Yeah, I understand.
There you go.
It's the muscles. It's the arms.
But let's talk about that, the Elks Lodge. Especially, I can imagine you definitely know the history that comes with that building, or especially the building next door to it. Yeah. What does that mean, getting an opportunity like this at that Elks Lodge?
Yeah, oh my god, yeah, that's another that's like the cherry on top to me. Like I feel like the match, whether it happened in the Elks Lodge or at in a garage or something, like it would have still been special to me. But being that it's in that building, it's like Jesus, like this is it makes it even more of a big deal. And then when they started running shows again with NEW being on that show, like it was my first time wrestling in the Elks Lodge in like 10 years. And I was like, it hasn't changed much, but it was still like, but I think that was the best part of it, that it didn't change.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they painted the walls. That was about it.
They painted the wall the same color it was before. So, but other than that, like, yeah, it was being in that building. I always get like a different feel because I know the history, and it's a New York building. I'm a New Yorker, so it's like it has that sentimental value to me. But and then now that match is happening in that building, it's like it's the cherry on top, like I said.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So let's go into. I always like to ask these questions now. Now that we've gotten all the confirmed dates, all the matchups that are happening, let's talk about matchups you would like to see or places you would like to go as well. So let's start with matches you would like to have happen. Again, you have the opportunity with Alpha. You have Astro coming up. You have the endless possibilities even at Project. But outside of that, let's say you have, again, no matter what promotion, whatever it is, who would you like to wrestle eventually? Who are some guys you have on your radar that you would like to make a match happen with?
That's a good question. Did I have a lot of these? One guy, you mentioned him earlier. He was here yesterday. I do want to mix it up with Nikolai.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. I had fun mixing it up with him in the Scramble. So, and like I said, he's a very hungry dude. So I would like to get in with him. One name. This is probably I probably just signed a death warrant. TJ is someone I want to get in there with.
PJ
Marconi.
Savage?
No,
Oh, TJ.
Marconi. TJ
Okay.
Marconi.
Okay.
Yeah. I would like to, chop that tree down.
Oh, that's going after the Don himself. That's
Yeah. Why not?
Hey, I don't know if you heard on Monday. He was saying he'll do whatever he wants. So yeah, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. I have to learn that. Be careful what you wish for, especially with the whole office situation.
Yeah.
Nikolai, TJ. Even though I'm already wrestling Astro soon, whenever he wants it, he can get it. Go.
How about is there anyone outside of Project? Do you have your eyes on
outside of Project?
Yeah.
There's a lot of good guys outside of Project that I would like to.
Because I can imagine you want to definitely face off most of the roster. Because again, you want to get your ranking up and you want to be top guy in Project. But that's why I say outside of it, because the spectrum goes even wider. So,
there is someone, even though he is a part of the Project, but he won't be on this show. I really want to wrestle Chris Martin.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. That's another. I got another alumni of the podcast, one of my boys. Yeah. That would be interesting to see because he's another one that has that, like, he brings a different side depending on where he is. Just you were saying with NEW. Yeah. Like, so that would be interesting to see the Bushwick Beast and King of the Scramble go at it when they're both at their most, like, furious. Like, that more fury side. Yeah. That'd be cool. That'd definitely be an interesting match.
Like that. Pretty much I'm open to all challenges, like anybody, like man, woman. I want to fight, like I said at Genesis.
There we go. So how about let's move on to now some places you would like to be it in the tri-state area, be it in the U.S. itself, even outside. Where are some companies, places you want to go wrestle in? Let us know.
Mm-hmm. Well, for one, I know this is the biggest one. I do want to go to Japan one day.
Okay.
Like if I could do that, I'm good. Being the Puerto Rican I am, I would like to wrestle in Puerto Rico.
Gotcha.
I've never been to Puerto Rico, believe it or not.
So, I say I'm I think it's the New York thing that's like most of us have been like, yeah, we're Puerto Rican. You ever been?
Yeah. No. Nope, bro. Not. Yeah, exactly. So I want to. Puerto Rico's up there. As far as companies, like there's a lot of good companies out there, especially in Jersey. You got Invictus. They're doing big things. I would like to. I don't mind going over there. PPW out in Pennsylvania.
Okay, yeah.
They're doing some big things. Pretty much. I'm open to anything. No. I do pick and choose. I'm a bit picky, so like anywhere would, but I'll look at it and I'm like, yeah, I'd work there.
No.
And but for like countries or out in New York, Puerto Rico, and Japan for sure.
Gotcha.
Those are like my top two.
Gotcha. Oh, so that's interesting with Japan. But Puerto Rico, I get it definitely because again that it's that patria. You want to be able to say you get to wrestle on the island. With Japan, were you influenced by any of the style? Did you grow up watching any of the guys like getting to see maybe the Masawas or stuff like that?
Like I liked a lot of Muda.
Okay.
Yeah, I was big into Muda. Like I especially since like me and him like were in like kind of like similar build. Obviously, he's bigger than me.
Yeah.
But so like, and then seeing him do Shining Wizards, I started doing Shining Wizards. So I was like, yeah, and then like he's a big character guy too. So like, just little things that he did, like like him having a different color mist, and it had a different like.
Oh yeah, each one had a meaning. Yeah,
like black blindness, red, this, that, the third. So that I always found cool. I didn't grow up watching Japanese wrestling. Like that started in my teenage years.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I started watching a lot of that, and I was like, wow, like they are beating the piss out of each other, and I thought it was great. So
Gotcha.
that's why it's like, you know what, I would like to go there. I'm gonna probably would get my ass kicked, but I'm gonna try to give it right back. So,
No.
but
Hey, that's also that's the humblings of Japan. That's getting to
yeah,
grow over there and get that strong style training. So that's always
right,
great.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
anyone that's gotten came from Japan, like they're a beast in the ring. No matter how just look at the guys that's on TV now. Like a lot of the guys that were there, even for whether it was for a few months or for years, they come back to the States and they're like look savages like a savage and
No,
just
definitely.
they wrestle different. The like it definitely like changes you for the
Yeah,
better.
definitely. No, and
So
that's always been like one of my goals is I would love to do again, even as for a month, just the dojo system for a bit over there.
yeah.
Like their dojo system is just so different compared to like any training you could do
Hmm.
here.
Oh
Like
yeah, like
it just looks amazing.
that training is like going to the military.
No, definitely,
So
definitely. No,
yeah,
but
I would like
that's
to
awesome.
experience that.
No,
It'll make you stronger.
no, definitely will. Well, that's awesome. So from there again, now we have next Saturday. We have the date in May. Uh, is there anything you're looking forward to for 2022 that you want to put in there that you want to make happen? Be it match, be it place that you want to set in stone that this will happen in 2022. Even if it's gold, if it's winning a championship, like if there's a certain championship you have your eyes on right now that you want to set in stone for 2022.
I don't have an exact like championship I want, but
Yeah.
at the end of the year, I'm gonna have some gold.
Okay.
Like that's the next thing for me. After these next two hurdles, I'm trying to go for some gold.
There you go. And I think that's also the next step. Maybe projects looking into is possibly adding their first championship into the mix. So who knows?
Mhm.
Maybe that's something you got to look into.
Yeah,
So
I would gladly love to have my name in the history books.
there you go. Hey, again, first match, first champion. Who knows? There you go.
Why not? Let's
So
do it.
before I let you go, again, there's always the last question I ask everyone. Again, what's the end goal for you? The end goal for the king of the scramble himself, Walter Diaz, when everything is said and done, your end goal in professional wrestling.
The for me, personally, is more to look back to be able to like look back when I'm done. Like that was cool. Like look back and like have things that I could like show like maybe my grandkids or my kids or whatever. Like in a few years, like oh look what I was able to do. I was able to follow my dream and I did it. Like, you can do the same. And then there were hurdles along the way, but I was able to take the time and get it going. And yeah, just to look back at something I'm proud of, you know, especially like the last year, this run, I looking back at it, looking back to everything else before that, like all the older stuff I've done, this is like bar none, like honestly my favorite run.
That's awesome. And I feel like that's something we all strive for is to look back and look at like no regrets toward what
Right.
done,
Yeah.
just looking at the great stuff. So that's awesome. That's awesome to
Yeah.
hear. That's
Right. Like
inspiring.
you
And
want
again,
to do things you're proud of, like
you know,
it, like something you enjoy doing, like and something like you want to create memories for yourself as well.
definitely. Oh, got you. Again, I look forward to seeing more memories you make and those awesome moments happen. So again,
All
guys,
right.
don't forget to also go follow the king himself. Go follow him on Instagram. We got him right there. Big underscore daddy underscore rock. What I was gonna ask, what is that about? Because we have the king of the scramble, we have Icebox, but I'm like, wait, these social handles are another
Yeah,
like moniker
yeah.
here. What's this about?
That I'm not gonna lie. That nickname came from a story. I can't say it in public.
Okay, so we're just gonna
But I knew like one of my friends is like actually I got that from Boy Meets World.
Okay.
There was an episode where I think where Eric was like lifting weights in the room, and he just kept saying, "Big Daddy rocks, Big
Okay.
Daddy rocks, Big Daddy." So then I wound up stealing it, and it came about in something that I can't talk about.
Okay.
So so then so then it just wound up being my handle for everything, like PlayStation.
Okay.
That's my handle.
Got you. Hey, it works. It's hey.
Yeah.
But again, go follow him. Go make sure you follow him on Twitter as well. Go follow on the Instagram. Stay up to date. Also, go follow the project. Make sure you're getting those project numbers up because TJ wants to hit 1,000 on Instagram. So go follow them as well. Those ghost accounts, man. I don't get it.
I hate
But
them.
hey, but again, thank you so much, Walter, for coming on. This has been a great conversation.
Absolutely.
Hope you had fun. Guys, again, we'll be back the rest of the week. We have some more hashtag project week to get through. Thank you as always, guys. Don't forget to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people. And as always, respect the craft. We'll see you guys on the next one.